In my previous video lesson, I demonstrated chords for blues. This time I'm going to talk about blues lead guitar. When we first start learning to play lead guitar licks and solos, we're usually given the blues scale to learn. Here's the blues scale in C. The notes are C, E flat, F, G flat, G, B flat and C. Compared with the C major scale, which contains no sharps or flats, the blues scale contains two flattened blue notes, the minor third E flat and the minor seventh B flat. These two notes above all give the blues its characteristic sound when played over the usual blues chords in this key, which are C7, F7 and G7. The blues scale in C also contains G flat, the diminished fifth, which is to be used sparingly as it clashes with all three chords. By all means play it, but don't sustain it or make a feature of it. Use it as a passing note. In other words, when moving, say, from F to G or G to F. So that's the blues scale, and it's a perfectly good scale to get you started playing blues lead guitar, especially when you play it as a 2-octave pattern like so. But there comes a time when it's just not good enough. Listen to any of the blues greats such as B.B. King, Buddy Guy, Otis Rush and so on, and you'll very rarely hear them sticking to the blues scale. You see, the blues scale misses out several useful notes. What about the major third, which in the key of C is E? The blues scale misses this note out and replaces it with the blue note minor third, E flat. E flat is essential to a blues in C, but there's nothing wrong with E natural. If we're soloing over a band playing the usual three blues chords, the C7 chord is made up of the notes C, E, G and B flat. So there's a perfectly good justification for playing E in our solo. I can easily give you examples of this. For example, many of the blues greats such as Buddy Guy start off a slow blues like this. Now this lick starts with E flat, the minor third from the blues scale, but then it goes straight to the major third, E. Come to think of it, what about the start of Chuck Berry's Johnny B. Good? Same thing, both the minor and the major third. Blues licks like this often also include the major sixth, which is A in the key of C. This note is also missing from the blues scale, but why? Because if we're playing an F7 chord, A appears in that. Our Buddy Guy intro certainly includes it. There it is. Also, B.B. King often starts a slow blues like this. He goes from the fifth, which is G, to the sixth, A, and then on to the root note C. So, we've made a good case for the major third and sixth to be added to our collection of bluesy notes. What about the major second? In the key of C, this is D. There can't be anything wrong with it, surely, because look at our blues chord G7. There it is, D. Way back in 1953, Guitar Slim recorded his classic The Things That I Used to Do, which starts like this. the things that I used to do. The guitar lick that Slim used to answer his opening vocal line contains the major second, major third and the major sixth. That record was produced by a young Ray Charles, and if it's good enough for him, it's good enough for you and me. Let's take another look at the good old blues scale. In recent years, many musicians have started calling this the minor blues scale. That seems fair enough, because after all, the only note that stops this from being a minor pentatonic scale is the diminished fifth, G flat. Those same people that call it the minor blues scale argue for the existence of a major blues scale, which, in addition to the minor third, also contains the major second, major third and major sixth. Looking around the internet, there seems to be a disagreement about exactly which notes the major scale should contain. Many seem to miss out the minor seventh, B flat, which to my mind is one of the most important blue notes. So while I think it's a good idea that many musicians recognise the shortcomings of the standard or minor blues scale, some of these major blues scales out there on the internet are adding to the confusion. Another note that seems to be missing from both the minor and major blues scales is the major seventh, which is B in the key of C. Again, B is to be found in our G7 chord. So if it's okay to use the G flat, the diminished fifth, as a passing note, which doesn't even appear in any of our blues chords, why not the major seventh, B, which does? So, when playing blues, I never restrict myself to the minor or major blues scales. I use what I call the expanded blues scale, which contains all of the notes I've been talking about. Here it is. So in the key of C, the notes are C, D, E flat, E, F, G flat, G, A, B flat, B and C. I'll finish with an up-tempo blues in the key of G. Watch out for examples of the ideas I've been talking about, and I'll see you next time.